welcome to Access 21, and this is our monthly program, Volunteer of the Month. And did we fool you? Well, I'd like to introduce you to our Volunteer of the Month for September, Paul Hart.
Hi.
Did we fool you?
Yes, you fooled me.
Son of a gun.
I love the set. I was mostly excited about coming down. They told me I was coming down to do a Critics Corner, and darn it if I wasn't just plain impressed with the set here.
Well, you can steal it back from us sometime to do Critics Corner. No, this is our, if you haven't seen this program before, this is our chance to highlight the work of one of our producers here. And each month we pick somebody different, and it's Paul this time. And first I wanted to maybe acquaint people who haven't met you or access people who haven't worked with you. And why don't we start with, when did you train for, I can't remember when you completed your training, your workshop.
Hello? Becky, your lapel mic is going to have to pick me up for a second until I plug in.
Hello? Ah.
Hello.
Ah.
Okay. I trained, of course I missed a class on lapel mics.
You
so,
did?
Yeah,
Oh.
if that isn't apparent. I trained a year ago, approximately, the late fall class of '85.
And you know, Paul, I seem to distinctly remember your class's final project because you were wearing a dress, were you not?
That's right. One of the scenes I wore a dress.
It was great. It really was one of those scenes to remember. But
I kept it. It was my sister's. I still have it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The earrings especially were my favorite.
Do you remember what the earrings were? I made them
No.
out of French fry from McDonald's.
Was
French
that
fry
it?
carton. Yeah.
They were great.
Yeah.
They were great. Sometime I would like a pair.
Sure.
But
I'll loan them to you.
what I wanted to let the people at home know or find out from you is, what did you think of the class maybe before you took it, what, as opposed to how you felt about the class after you took it? Was it what you expected?
Yeah, it was. Parts of it were what I expected, and parts of it weren't what I expected. I was very impressed with the editing and that type of thing, and the technical direction, which I still am, which I still need. Everybody, we all need practice with that. And I'm always really enthused when I get to come in and do that type of thing. But the class in itself was just fun. It was, I could go to work and I could look forward to coming to this class. It was just a real relief, and the people were nice, and hopefully you always get a nice bunch of people in. And our class,
It was a real nice bunch of people,
Yeah,
yeah. What piece of equipment, maybe it's changed since then, but is there a favorite piece of equipment for you, maybe during the class?
Scott Marvel.
Oh, yeah? Don't tell Scott.
Favorite piece? You mean to work on?
Yeah, what did you like to work
probably
on?
Probably the board doing technical directing. Because, like I said, there's so much that, you know, I see other people, when Brian and Scott or you would be using the board and for different reasons, and it's just real impressive to me, and you just have to kind of sit down and use it repeatedly to become comfortable with it. And every time I do come in to work on somebody's show or do camera or something, I always try and take a minute out and sneak around and play with the board again so I don't forget.
Yeah, yeah. As far as the class, how did you find out about the class? I know you had been in here off and on
Well, you kept
quite a
calling
bit
until
before that,
Yeah.
but in connection with school and bringing tapes in from school. But how did you find out about the class?
Well, I lived in Elgin back then. I finally do live in Dundee now, thank goodness. And I was in the Centel system and was not enjoying our local station, Channel 6, that much. But I had heard about the class probably a little bit from you, but I think mostly from people in the Dundee area that said, you know, hey, I've got something, you know, I saw this on, you know, the character generator on Channel Access 21, and you should go in and take a look at it and see what you think. And I think I just gave you a call, and you gave me the times, and you signed me up, and
The rest is history, right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah, the rest is
Right.
history, folks.
Well, before we talk about some of the projects that you've been working on since you've been trained, I wanted to show everybody at home. Every year we have an Access Awards. Well, I don't know if everyone at home is familiar with that, but it's a video festival, and it gives all of our volunteers a chance to enter projects that they have worked on for judges to take a look at, and if they win their category, they win a plaque. And we do that every December. We have an open house for all of our volunteers, and then that's when we present the awards to the winners. And we'll do that this December, December 10th. Wednesday night. Last year's Access Awards were a little bit special for Paul. He entered a program, Ready or Not, which we'll talk about in just a minute, and he won, what category was it?
Arts and Entertainment.
Arts and Entertainment. He was the winner in that category, and we have the clip from last year's Access Awards, so let's take a look at that right now. Ready or Not, Paul Hart, producer, is the next finalist.
If you don't tell me where that earring is, I'll tie your fingers to your shoelaces. What? Come on, talk.
This was a close category, too. I remember this one real well from that night. They're both real good. The winner was, though, this year, Ready or Not, Paul Hart, producer.
Thank you very much. This is a real special award to me because it represents a lot of work, first off, but not just my own work, but my class. I teach 5th grade at Perry Elementary School, and my classes do a lot of the writing, and they help me with the lighting, and they help me all around, and together we get this put together, about one per year. Well, I thank you very much.
That was Ready or Not, the award winner in the Arts and Entertainment category last December at the 1985 Access Award.
That was also me with a bad cold, too.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that program came about and a little of the history behind it?
Okay, well, 1857.
Yeah, I knew it.
No. Each year with each class, I'm a teacher at Perry Elementary School, and each year I try and put together a show with my class. And we begin by doing story writing and brainstorming in the fall. And then along the way, as I read these stories, if I find one that I think that kind of has a ironic twist to it or something that seems interesting, I'll set it aside. And then by January, usually, we start combining these scripts, and we throw ideas out and back and forth, and eventually one scene gets written. No story, just one scene that it really appeals to me. And I'll pick some characters, and we go and film it. Sometimes we film it twice with different people, and sometimes 3 times, or sometimes we put it in a different location. And finally, when I'm satisfied with it, I start to build a story around it. And by that time, usually the story just falls right into place. It seems like every year, and I've done this for 5 years now, every year the kids kind of try and make a spy story out of everything. There's always the spy element, and I don't know why. It's just, well, if you remember what it's like to be a kid, everything turns into a spy
Cops and
story.
robbers, spies, yeah.
I don't want to do spy stories every year, but the year that Ready or Not was produced, this started out as just a simple story about a girl who had a twin brother, and her twin brother did everything in the world to get in trouble at school, and when she'd try and help him out, she'd get caught. And that was basically the plot of it. Well, we got a midget spy in kindergarten all of a sudden, and there was the spy element and a kidnapping, and it just evolved. But it turned out to be okay.
Yeah, it was real cute. What are some of the other class projects you've worked on, then school class projects?
Shows I've done with my class. In 1981, I did a show called The Mystery of the Vacant Room. Mystery, spy stuff. And then the second show was called Spy Guy, the Whipped Cream Bomb, the story about the world being afraid of a whipped cream bomb exploding. And we did blow one up over in Carpenter Park over here. Can I tell a quick story about that?
Certainly.
When we tried to clean up the whipped cream after we were done filming, we threw a bucket of water on it, and actually it was shaving cream, and I thought it would all dissolve, but instead got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I couldn't make it go away. And as a teacher, I couldn't say, oh, oh, kids, let's keep working on this. So I quick shoved him in the car, and we drove away with this big blob of whipped cream in the park, of shaving cream. After that, we did a show called Be Boring, which is the name of a girl, Beatrice Boring, and it was about a sad little girl who didn't have any friends. And a story had a little history to it called Gold, year after, Ready or Not. And then last year at class I had rewrote a story called They Call Me Mist.
Are you working on anything this year with the kids? Or have you, probably not, it's kind of early.
Yeah, it is kind of early, but we've done some story writing, and I've already set a couple things aside.
So you are planning to do another one?
I'd like to, yeah.
That's great. I'm glad we have this list now. The things that you've done at Access 21, Paul has worked on a lot of projects, both his own, as you've heard, and then a lot of other people's. He's also the talent for a show that we'll talk about that one last, and we'll show you a clip from that.
Good idea.
But aside from the final project that we talked about that you guys worked on for your class here at Access 21, you did Perry Pride Week. What was that?
Perry Pride Week was just a compilation of every school has musicals and plays, and we had a first, a second, a third, fourth, and a fifth grade play throughout the year, and we had a gym show, and those were filmed whenever they occurred during the school year. And I had told everybody I'd get them on Access, and I never did. So we had set aside a week in the spring and called it Perry Pride Week. And I came in and I shot some raw footage at school, and I made a little introduction. And every night for a week we ran a show from Perry Elementary School, whether it be a musical or a gym show.
Okay, and we also have Twits, that's short for This Week in the Suburbs comedy show. If you haven't seen that, what have you worked on with Twits?
Oh, everything. Is it when Twits first began? This is Joe DiDonna. What a guy. When this first began, I just came in and worked the camera, but as the shows continued, I started doing a little technical directing, and finally in the last Twits, I'm in it as an actor, and I'm a sports writer, or I'm a comedy writer, and there's a little satire thing. You'll see it. Twits 4 isn't out yet, but when it comes out, I play a comedy writer, and we sit around and smoke big hokey cigars like the sports writers do on Channel 32.
Great.
Well, we'll see how it turns out. I don't know.
Okay, and we have Symmetry, which Brian Beer produces.
The first Symmetry, and I'm so proud of this show. It never got on the air. It never aired. Well, that's the way things go. And also, I was never invited back to work on a Symmetry show, but that's okay.
There must be a story there. I don't know.
Brian and I are still friends, at least as far as I know.
I think he's compiling, though, all the things that he never had time to telecast, so I think it's in there.
Oh, okay.
Paranoia, An Excuse for a Band.
Okay, this was another Brian Beer Company production. I don't think this is aired yet either.
Not yet, I don't think.
This is in the editing. It's just kind of like the life story of a band, how they started in the very beginning and progressed on. I think I worked camera and did a small bit of technical directing on that. And that's a really interesting show. Watch that when it comes out.
Okay, and how about
It's like I'm doing promos right now.
Advanced Workshop? What did your class do?
The advanced workshops you put together, or you and Scott and everybody put together, and I did Advanced Workshop 2, and it gave me a chance to produce something other than something I would normally do myself. We did the Dundee Township Park District.
Oh, you were that's right.
And I also, to make it extra hard on myself, I had the full crew, and I technical directed, which after setting it all up, it's hard to take commands from a director.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And so I learned a lesson there. I kept wanting to push the buttons on my own.
Keep the power yourself.
Yeah.
Lou Snellen's Tattoo You Show.
That's what I named it. I don't know what Lou's going to name it.
I don't know that he has a name yet. So what did you do on that?
Well, I worked what I call close-up camera, where we had people in the studio actually getting tattoos, and I had the close-up camera. I got as close as I could, and you can see this little needle go doink, 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 and this ink go into arms. And it was a fun show, but I'd left it, and it was sort of a sick to my stomach because
I can understand
it wasn't Lou Snellen. It was the close-up camera.
Another Brian Beer production coming the end of this month, I believe. Count Sakula.
Count Sakula. Oh, we're all excited about this, Becky. I can't say enough
I do
about
believe
it.
you are talent in this, are you not?
Yes.
Yes.
Again, I think I do a lot of different things in this. But, yeah, I am in Count Socula, and I play a father, and my son is Steve Murphy.
And your wife is in this also, right? Okay.
My
What does
wife's
she
in this.
play?
She plays my daughter.
Ah, this is interesting.
This is not correct. This is not right. And when my son looks the same age as I, you can write letters to Brian Bear and complain. But Count Socula is kind of a cute. It's going to be kind of a cute children's Halloween tale about a sock that comes to life and goes around biting people in the ankles. And also, I've filmed some inserts for Brian that I think he's going to use. I hope he uses with my class at school.
Oh.
And they were real excited about doing it, and I
Great.
just had those edited down, and I'm going to give those to Brian tomorrow night.
All right.
So look for Count Socula.
And we also have Hal's Band, another video promo for a band.
Hal was a person from Access class, and he just invited me in to work camera one night. Or did I technical? I don't know. Did something, but we filmed Hal's Band, and it was fun. That was a whole different experience too. And you know, every time you come down here, it's something different. Whether it's the same show, whether it's a Twitch show or whatever, it's always something different. And I forgot one other thing is I did Steve Murphy's live.
Oh yes.
Live show.
Social Security. That was it. We did a live call-in in August, and Paul worked on that.
Yeah, that was really exciting, just because it was live, and you know the pressure's on, and you want it to look the best that you possibly can. And I think it came off okay.
Yeah, a little plug for that. We hope to be doing more live call-in programming in the near future.
Look
so
for my
if
wife to be
anybody
on
out
that,
there
too.
has any ideas about what kind of programs they'd like to see us do in a call-in format, let us know. Okay, the one thing I saved for last,
The classiest act on Access 21.
and we'll close by looking at a clip of that, by the way, so you can look forward to that, but is Critics Corner. Critics Corner's been on Access 21 for, let's see, since about April, I think. And it's on every Wednesday at
7:30.
7:30, and it's a movie review, and it's videos now, right? It started out being theater releases, now it's videos, and Mr. Hart here is a critic. How did you get involved with that? Coercion?
I was drugged. I don't know.
I thought
I
so.
don't know. First of all, let's face it. It's hard to say, "Hey, I'm a critic." Well, we all watch films and things and are critical of them. But I think what we try and do with Critics Corner is we bring in and we give our opinions, just like everybody has an opinion about a movie. And you don't have to agree with us. You don't have to disagree with us. We're doing it, and it's fun. And we hope it looks like we're having fun, because it's to say I'm a critic. No, I'm not a critic. I teach school, but I like to watch movies. So, and Mr. Lilly and my other partner, Mr. Marvel,
Pete Lilly and Mr.
Pete
Scott
Lilly.
Marvel, yes.
Yeah. We always try to have fun with it, and we still are. And as long as it's fun, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, I think it shows. I remember the first time you were a critic, how nervous you were. Boy, he's really loosened up a lot. Okay, we'll show you a clip from Critics Corner in just a minute. What I
Be kind
wanted
with
to
your
do,
clip.
you'll help us pick, is read your letter so that you know. I think everyone at home pretty much has an idea why we selected you for Volunteer of the Month. Paul has been real active down here. I'll read the letter. It kind of says the same thing I would have just said to you. Congratulations on your selection as Volunteer of the Month for September. We've had the pleasure of working with you for quite some time and are happy that you are part of our public access program here at United Cable. You've worked on a number of projects, both your own and those of other producers. You've supported our Access Awards, which is a very important thing. I mean, we can have the Access Awards every year, but if nobody bothers to enter programming, there isn't much of an Access Award, so that means a lot to us. You've supported our Access Awards by entering one of your shows in last year's video festival, and you are creative, cooperative, enthusiastic, and talented. It's people like you who make public access work, and we appreciate the fact that you lend your time and talents to Access 21. We enjoy working with you and look forward to our continued collaboration in crime.
The crew is crying. Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's very complimentary. I'd like to, real quick, can I say something about
Sure.
the station? We need, thank you. Number one. We need Access Television. We need this station in our community, and I hope that we can keep Access 21 around here for as long as we possibly can, because not only the shows that I'm involved with, but more importantly, there's some really good shows for children. There's some good shows in all different areas and being produced. And you can just come in and you can take the class and you can produce something in your interest area. You can do a lot of different things, and we need this station. We've got to support it, and that's really important. And probably the more people that we can get involved, the better. And I kind of am in with a bunch right now, and we all support each other in shows, and we're in each other's credits. It kind of is beginning to show that we're all doing each other's shows right now, and that's fun. But we realize that there's other shows on Access 21, and the more people that can get involved, the better, because I hope the station can be around for a long time.
Yeah, if people keep using it, it
Yeah.
will. Really, what Paul said is true. If you support it by watching it and by becoming involved with it, and it really is fun. It's a hobby. It's a great way to learn some things that you probably wouldn't have the chance to learn, and use some equipment that you probably wouldn't have the chance to use if you couldn't come down here. So really, that's why we appreciate your support so much, because we really do need people like you.
Well, it's an unbelievable experience. When I tell people about this, they say, how much will this cost? That's always the first question. How much do you have to put, pet money? And in this day and age, it's hard to believe there's something that you can actually use. You have to like put their face in their dictionary under the word access, and but it is quite unbelievable. So come check it out if you're interested.
Thanks. Watch us again next month. We'll have another volunteer for you, and keep watching Access 21 in the meantime. Good night.
Good night, everybody. It's Pete Little.
So, see, it was great. He was able to tell her right away that he did travel in Time
And
Machine.
another great thing about time travel films is at least for me, I find myself saying to myself, thinking, wouldn't that be great? And see, that would be just great to like be 2 days ahead of time, or 500 years ahead of time, then be able to come back to where you were, or stay there.
The thing is, you gotta be careful. You go back in time, and you go back in time, because I've done it. I did it yesterday, and I was very careful when I did it. When you go back in time, don't do anything, because you can change the course of history, and then you could disappear. So you gotta be real careful at that sort of thing.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Time After Time, very fun movie. Not a superior, fantastic film, but very fun. I enjoyed it, and I'll give it a B+, almost an A-.
Okay, my grade rather, of Time After Time would be more of like a C+. I enjoyed it. It was interesting, but it was just there for me. It didn't thrill me. It was just a very.
But you've got to remember, 1979. That's when it was made. No, I'm not going to say any more about it. What do you say we go to the next one?
Okay.